Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Good to see all of you. I hope you're doing well. Good morning, y'all nuts. Good morning, JW. Good morning. Good morning, Jack Buck. How are you? Why are you still asleep, Shizzy? We told you not to eat those pudding pops. Two awesome dogs. Good to see you. Good morning, folks. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day. Oh, morning, everyone. Monday Madness has officially began. Oh, you have no idea how madness it's gone this morning. It is crazy, crazy mad. We got some really, really cool stuff this morning for you. We'll start with this right here because this is insane. 75-year-old John Force alert after fiery crash at Virginia Motorsport Park. Of course, you would be very alert after a fiery crash. Yeah, that would wake you up a little bit. The NHRA great John Force was alert and talking to safety workers immediately after a fiery 300-mile-per-hour crash Sunday at the Virginia Nationals in Virginia Motorsports Park. John Force Racing said the 75-year-old Force was examined at the track by the NHRA medical team before being transported by medical helicopter to a facility for further evaluation. During the first round of funny car eliminations, the engine exploded in Force's car at the finish line, with the vehicle going across the center line, striking the left concrete guard wall, then careening back across to the right wall. 3 weeks ago in New Hampshire, Force raced his record 157th NHRA victory and second in the season in 2007 at age 58. Okay. Forrest was seriously injured in a racing crash in Ennis, Texas. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought that was a period. I was like, well, this is 2024. We're keeping our pal John Forrest in our thoughts and our prayers. He's one tough cookie. Tony Stewart, the former NASCAR star who now races in HRA Top Fuel class, said on social media on Sunday, long after Force's accident, teammate Austin Prock won the funny car division, topping Bob Tasca III in a final round. The trophy is going straight to the hospital, to John Force, Prock said from the winner's circle. It's just tough to see somebody go through that, especially when it's somebody you really care about. But I know he'll be back. We're race car drivers and we have to flip the switch. I know John wanted us to be out there going rounds, and I'm glad we did our job. Yes, it is crazy. I fell into a burning fire. He's only crashed like 100 times. That's now it's I'm trying to think who it was. One of my buddies went the first in our NHRA race that he went to go see, and it no longer is there. There used to be one. Damn it, was it Griffin? No, it wasn't in Griffin. Yet I can't remember now. He said the first time that he went, he had never been to one before. And another buddy of mine was like, no, 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 we'll go. It'll be fun. We'll have a good time. Basically, we'll go and we'll just watch the top fuelers. I mean, if you want to stay and watch the alcohol, we can, but the top fuelers and the funny cars, those are the ones to really watch. And sometimes, the motorcycles will race. Most of the time, motorcycles will race. So you have different classes of them. And then you'll have like your like not your top fuelers. They're not really alcohol. They're more just like just your straight drag kind of stuff. And so he said he shows up, and I know it wasn't John Forrest, but it was somebody else. Basically, as soon as he stepped out, he heard the engines firing off, and you usually wear safety hearing because those things are loud, and it comes hauling ass past him, going over 200 miles an hour upside down. Yeah, he said he was hooked after that. Quick turn left again. No, 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 no. There is no left turns on that. It is straight out drag racing. It is straight out drag racing. And if you ever get a chance, Constant, I am telling you, it doesn't matter how old you are, go to one. Just go to one, and you will Oh, exactly. 20 car drag races were fun. Oh, yeah. They still have them. They still have the top fuelers. They still get the dragsters out there. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing and probably one of the best times. Hold on and go straight as fast as possible. Yes. NHRA put on great shows. Absolutely. And I mean, I'm not really into going to big races or anything like that, but having a good time is always fun. It is a good time. I would suggest anybody that gets the opportunity to go to at least one man, woman, child, just make sure you take some hearing gear. If you want to have some really good fun, get behind one of the cars whenever they fire up one of those top fuelers. I won't even explain it. It's worth it though. It's worth it. If you've never done it, it is totally worth it. Well, and as we talked about last week, there was some of this that happened. FBI offers a reward for information about these deadly southern New Mexico wildfires. Hmm. So what happened? Ruidoso, New Mexico federal authorities offered a reward of information about those responsible for igniting a pair of New Mexico wildfires that killed two people and destroyed hundreds of homes in the past week. The FBI on Saturday offered up to $10,000 for more information in connection with the South Fork fire and the Salt fire in southern New Mexico, which forced thousands to flee. The agency statement said it was seeking public assistance in identifying the cause of the fires near Ruidoso, New Mexico, that were discovered June 17th. The notice also pointedly suggested human hands were to blame, saying the reward was for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for starting the fires. South Fork fire, which has reached 26 square miles, was 26% contained on Saturday. The Salt fire at 12 square miles was 7% contained as of Saturday morning, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Full containment was not expected until July 15th. Recent rains and cooler weather have assisted more than 1,000 firefighters working to contain the fires. Fire crews on Saturday took advantage of the temperatures in the 70s, scattered showers, and light winds to use bulldozers to dig protective lines. Hand crews used shovels and more rugged terrain to fight the fires near the mountain village of Ruidoso. Elsewhere in New Mexico, heavy rain and flash flood warnings prompted officials to order some mandatory evacuations on Friday in the city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Yes, there is a place called Las Vegas, New Mexico, and communities near Albuquerque. It's about 200 miles north of Ruidoso. Las Vegas set up shelters for displaced residents, and some evacuation orders remained in place there on Saturday. Flash flood warnings were canceled Saturday, though the National Weather Service said afternoon storms could produce excessive runoff and more flooding in the areas. So this is crazy. They did order some disaster declaration for parts of southern New Mexico on Thursday. And much of the Southwest has been exceedingly dry and hot in months. Those conditions, along with strong winds, whipped the flames out of control, rapidly advancing the South Fork fire in Ruidoso in a matter of hours. Evacuations extended to hundreds of homes, businesses, regional medical center, and the Ruidoso Downs horse track. National wildfires have scorched more than 3,344 square miles this year, a figure higher than the 10-year average, according to National Interagency Fire. Which brings me to my next my next my next little bit here. Where we go. Ah, this is what I was going to bring, and we'll turn off the music because that's one thing that'll get me in trouble. Is this right here? Canada warming faster than the rest of the world, says Environment Canada. And then of course we have this one. Mexico's warming faster than the rest of the planet, they say. And then, of course, we have this one here. Latin America and the Caribbean warming faster than the global average. And then, of course, we have this one here. The Arctic has warmed nearly 4 times faster than the globe since 1979. And we'll go on to our next one. Asia is warming faster than the global average, warns WMO. And we'll continue on to the next one. It says Africa warming faster than the rest of the world. IPCC sixth assessment report. And then, of course, we're going to go to this one here. The U.S. is warming 60% faster than the world is. National Climate Assessment says we're not prepared for what's coming. And we'll go to the next one, which Europe is warming almost twice as fast as global averages, report says. I think you're getting the point. Russia's climate is heating up faster than the rest of the world. Australia's warming faster than the global average. China warming up faster than the rest of the world. And of course, Finland's warming faster than the rest of the world, and Canada warming 2 times faster than the rest of the world. And Canada is getting warmer. Canada is warming faster. I mean, do you get the point? Everywhere is warming faster than the rest of the world. How can all of this be true? Every single place is warming faster than the rest of the world. I fell into a burning, burning fire. Burn, burn, burns the ring of fire. It's always Canada. Good morning, Wicked Wookie. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, T-Rex. Good morning, two awesome dogs. Good morning, Starzy. Great to have you here. It is crazy, isn't it? The world is warming faster than every other place. Quick implement communism and eat the bugs so the climate will be gooder. Exactly. Freaking exactly is the point. Oh, so here's where we go to this one right here. Here's a look at Trump's VP short list. Nobody that I think should be on the short list. This is the AP, according to the AP, the short list. This is why I don't think he should choose any of these people right here, because New York, Donald Trump has narrowed his vice presidential shortlist to a handful of contenders to announce his pick in the days before, or perhaps even at next month. He already said he wasn't going to do it until next month's Republican National Convention. He's already said this. And that the AP doesn't report this is because they're not listening. Sort of like me. I don't pay any damn attention half the freaking time. He told reporters Saturday that he already made his decision and that a person will be in attendance Thursday night in Atlanta at the first debate of the general election campaign. Saturday, Thursday night in Atlanta, which is going to be just an insane day here because it is going to be pre-recorded. Get that, folks? Pre-recorded. It's not even going to be presented to you live. It's going to be pre-recorded. Trump's choice would likely become the immediate frontrunner for the Republican presidential nomination 4 years from now if Trump were to win a second term, the constitutional limit. But that number two will be under immense pressure from Trump and his allies to show loyalty at all times. Trump turned on his first vice president. Did he turn on his first vice president, or did his vice president turn on him? See, they said that Trump turned on his first vice president after Pence rebuffed his boss's efforts to overturn the results. It wasn't that. See, this is where bad information comes in. That's not what Trump asked him to do. Trump asked him to put a delay on it so they could get all of the ballots counted. That's what he asked him to do. And Pence rightly said no, because he has every right to do that. You don't have to follow the whims of the current president. And I think every vice president should learn that. A lot of people don't understand that is because Sloppy Joe is absolutely unfit. Well, here's the thing. It was, and you have to remember this. It was agreed upon by Trump. Trump agreed to that also. So you can say what you will, but it's probably going to be a good thing for both of these old fuckers. Sorry for my language. I meant truckers. Mm. I remember it blocked up traffic for 3 hours whenever the motorcade came through. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. Mondays come too early in the week to be happy to see them. Oh no, you can be very happy to see Mondays. All overpasses and I-75 got shut down while they rolled through. Yes, absolutely. And it's not going to be much better. It's not going to be much better this go around. Now, my plan is to cover this on Thursday, but unfortunately, I do have family that is going to be here, so I may have to tone it down quite a bit, and I may have to do it from a different location. Location. We shall see. But yes, I will be my plan is to cover this on Thursday, to be talking about it. And if I'm not able to cover it on Thursday, then Friday morning, Friday morning, I will be pulling it up and going through the whole damn thing, because I don't suspect it's going to be um, a very long Q&A, and I can also do it on 1.25. So it's either going to be Thursday night or Friday morning, whichever I'm able to do. Now, I this week is going to be a little odd because I do have family that's going to be coming in. So I'm looking at, see, they'll be in Wednesday. Right. Yeah, Wednesday. So I will do a stream Wednesday morning. Thursday I won't be on in the morning because there will be littles sleeping in this particular area unless they are awake at this time of morning, which I doubt they will be. But I may do a later morning show just because it's don't want to be waking up the littles. That's the thing about it. Hey, good morning, Debbie Morin. Oh, Debbie. We've got a good one for you right there. I not sure if I tagged you in it, but whatever. Biden will be crapping his pants and waiting for his prompter to update. Yes, it is very true. It is very true. So, as we said, ah, based on false theories, see, this is where they come in, and that was not what he did. He did not he did not try to overturn it. This is a lie that the media will tell you, and I have proof to back all of this too. Mm. Pence has declined to endorse Trump this time around. Who cares? Trump has said his top consideration for vice president is whether someone is qualified to take over as commander in chief, but other factors at play, who can raise money? No, this is all that Trump has said. His top consideration for a vice president is whether someone is qualified to take over as commander in chief. Nowhere, nowhere else has he said any of these other factors at play. This right here is the AP's idea at why. Okay. They're saying, well, who can raise money? Who performs well on television? Who will be most effective debate stage against Kamala Harris? A a fucking mongoloid with goddamn bad lip sync could do better at debating Kamala Harris. Mongoloid on space acid could do better. Give me a freaking break. This is absolute garbage. Who risks overshadowing Trump as a lame duck as he is elected in November? Okay. And who has the what what does this have to do with anything? This right here is bull squeeze. Absolute bull squeeze. This has nothing to do with this. Who risks overshadowing Trump as a lame duck he's elected? Who and will talk soon of 2028? And who has the look? No, this is all this whole phrase right here is AP's idea. The only thing that Trump is looking for is whether someone is qualified to take over as commander in chief. All of this right here is what the left wants. That's all that the left wants. Trump's campaign has repeatedly cautioned that anyone claiming to know who or when Trump will be choosing as VP is lying unless the person is named Donald J. Trump. Trump already said that he was going to do this during the national debates. He said he was going to be doing this during the Republican National Convention. He's already said this. He said it more than once. And given Trump's penchant for unpredictability and drama, the best laid plans could change. A look at the top contenders heading to the convention in Milwaukee that will begin July 15th. See? And the AP knows that that's absolute garbage. They're just trying to get this up. Don't know that guy, don't care. JD Vance, he could, but not really worried about it. Marco Rubio, no. Tim Scott, possibly. I mean, the only problem with Tim Scott is he's really good at local. Don't know how he would be good at federal. Okay. And Elise Stefanik, I don't know who in the hell this is. The only woman on the short list. On whose short list? This is AP's short list. I don't know who she is, and more than likely not. Ben Carson, I could see Ben Carson being on there. Ben Carson's good people. Brian Donalds, I don't know. Don't know. I don't think that. See, this is the problem. They want to throw these particular men up here of a certain race because, well, that happens to fit in with maybe he can cover the black contingency and get the black supporters in there. It's like that's not why you do it. The reason why Trump said what he said, very first line that I said right here, his top consideration for a vice president is whether someone is qualified to take over as commander in chief. Look at every single one of these people that he's pulled up. Do you see any one of them being qualified to take over as commander in chief? Look at him. Ben Carson, maybe. Ben Carson, I could see maybe doing that. Brian Donalds, don't know. Don't know enough about him. I don't know. But see, is where this is where I can't even read what the AP decides they want to put out there. I can't even read that out loud because the AP is so full of garbage because they want to talk about JC. And we're not talking about Jesus Christ. That's what they're focusing on. That right there is what they're focusing on. And not that what he says is wrong. It's just that's really what you're going to focus on, not leading our country in a good way. That's what our vice president candidate needs to be looking like. That's why I don't think it's going to be any of these people. I don't think it's going to be any of these people. I think that AP misses out on a lot of stuff. And that'll bring me to my next story. Which is this one right here. Ukraine loses long-range missiles secretly provided by U.S. to hit Russian-held areas. You really secretly? Okay. How would we say that this is secret if the AP knows about this? Okay. I guess it's not really a secret now, is it? It says Washington, Ukraine for the first time is beginning using long-range ballistic missiles provided secretly by the United States. Okay. Bombing a Russian military airfield in Crimea last week and Russian forces in other occupied area overnight, American officials said on Wednesday. Russia didn't know. No, they already talked about we were going to be supplying weapons to Ukraine. Yes, your tax dollars. They said the reason why we were sending so much money over to Ukraine is so they could in turn purchase weapons from us. That's what they said. That was the whole goal. That was the whole purpose of their spending bill that they wanted to get passed, which they did get passed. Long sought by Ukrainian leaders, the new missile gave Ukraine nearly double the striking distance. We've already sent some. We will send more now that we have additional authority and money. So as I'm reading down through this, it says, known as ATACMs in February and then March, include a significant number of them in the $300 million aid package announced. Okay. So as they keep talking about this right here, where does it say anything about what I'm going to show you. And whenever you see it, you are going to be completely amazed. You're going to be completely amazed at what I'm about to show you. All right. So here, right? hmm So as you're watching those and you're going, that's really not that interesting. Here is something even more disturbing. And just giving you a heads up how disturbing this is. In case you don't know what this is, those are those rockets hitting at a beach in Crimea. People out having a nice day away from any sort of war. And this is what happens. US made cluster bombs at a beach in Sevastopol, eliminating 2 children. Yeah. So a lot of people are going, "Oh, that's not a good sign." Why is it not a good sign? Huh? Because they will not report on it. Right here. Ukraine's ATM rockets are severing Russian supply lines into Crimea. That's what their headline is. That's what their headline is right here. Ukraine's ATACMs rockets are severing Russia's supply lines. Oh, and we've got more because what else do they say? Ukrainian missiles hit Crimea as Russia launches nuclear drills in area. Oh, what does it say after that? It says, oh my gosh. So Russia says it down 10 US supplied missiles over Crimea as Blinken visits Kyiv. Where does it say that they launched it and hurt innocent civilians? Why aren't they covering that news? Why aren't they talking about that news? Why isn't that brought in? And I mean, that's from the military. Why won't they talk about it? Why won't they talk about it at all? No, here's what they decide to talk about after the fact. Ukrainian drones and missiles kill 6 in Russia and Crimea, fresh bombing of Kharkov. Russian authorities and 6 people and over 100 were wounded in a Ukrainian drone and missile attacks on Sunday, while the second day of Russian aerial bombing of Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine killed at least 1 person. Among the dead were 5 people, including 2 children who were hit by the falling debris from Ukrainian missiles that were shot down over a coastal area in Sevastopol. Now they're saying, oh, it was from debris. No, they're cluster bombs. That's how cluster bombs work. Cluster bombs work whenever they explode and then they drop smaller bombs on top of that. So if you do manage to hit it, the little bombs are going to get you. Russia's defense ministry said both Ukraine and the U.S. bore responsibility for the missile strike on civilians. Air defenses overnight shot down 33 Ukraine drones over Russia, western Brzezinsk, Smolstik, Lipstick, Tula. The Russian Ministry of Defense said Sunday. No casualties or damages were, of course, reported. Russia attack on Kharkov killed at least 1 person, wounded 11 on Sunday. Navy officials said training instructors and cadets were killed on an attack on Friday night. Moscow has not yet commented on the reports, but officials say air defenses shot down a number of drones in the region overnight on Friday. Good morning. Good morning, Nemo's girl. Yeah. We tend to forget that war causes death. It causes destruction. People get hurt. Non-factual reporting is constant. Propaganda is constant. It will continue. It will continue until this ends. It's sad. It shouldn't be depressing. You just need to know what's coming at you. Be very, very wary of what is coming around the corner. It's not going to get better, folks. You're going to be constantly, let's see, what is the best way of putting it? Screwed. Yeah, I guess that's the best way of putting it. Screwed. You're going to, as soon as they lift the veil off and you're able to see what's going on around you, when the news actually starts reporting news, it's going to be too late because you're not going to know until it's too late. Whenever it becomes blatant that they can't avoid talking about it, then all of a sudden, oh my gosh, why wasn't I paying any attention? What happened? Well, this guy has the answers. This guy right here has the answers. If you thought Goof was a joke, let's watch this.
Hi, everybody. Cotter from the car. I was just getting nostalgic, taking a little stumble down memory lane, thinking about the COVID epidemic. Remember that when some jackass ate a bat and we had to shut down the world? Remember when you had to get nostril raped to get on an airplane? The good old days. You had to get the vaccine because there was a mandate. There was a vaccine mandate and a mask mandate. And I'm an idiot. I thought mandates were something gay guys went on, but that's not homophobic. I'm just an idiot. I just got the latest booster, actually. It was heroin, and I loved it. And if they put heroin in all the vaccines, I'd be very well vaccinated. Moving on. You know who didn't get the vaccine? Charlie Sheen, famously was an anti-vaxxer, which I find hysterical because there is not a drug on this planet that he hasn't injected into his veins. So he trusts Pablo Escobar more than Fauci. Interesting. What else? Remember, it was a respiratory virus. So I knew that every morning I would wake up and I would do a series of deep breaths through a bong. And then I would forget all about the pandemic and I would have waffles. And that's just how I survived. The wife and I are still social distancing. I think the technical term is restraining order, but we made it through. And I'm wearing a mask right now, but I wear it as a thong. And I'll tell you something, I don't feel safe at all. I don't know how you ladies do it because it is splitting the twins. Stay healthy, everybody.
I had that one in my back pocket for a while. I had to put a little bit of levity into it. Put a little levity into it because all of it is hilarious. Splitting the twins. Ah, see, gotta put a smile on you guys' face. Oh, it's not as funny as this. I don't know who this person is, but she has an interesting takes on things. Um, this Sabrina Carpenter was speechless when a fan said this to her. What did the fan say to her that got her speechless? Well,
Who did you come
find
here
out.
with tonight? I'm here with my mom. Hi, Paloma mom. Hi, Paloma mom. I chose you because you told me that you were heartbroken.
Heartbroken. So she's heartbroken. Do you know why she's heartbroken?
And I wanted to know what happened. Well, my mom slept with my boyfriend and she doesn't know I know.
Yeah, that just broke her. And a look on the girl's face. Yeah. Thanks, Mom, for recording this. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to do it to you guys. I had to do it to you. This is this is too funny. I knew you guys would get a kick out of that. I knew you guys would get a kick out of that. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, that isn't all I've got for you today. It isn't all I've got for you today. Oh my gosh. That just is too much hilarity. Too much hilarity. Yeah, I can't be too serious much on this platform, and I have to, keep these kinds of things in mind that you don't come here to see, see everything that I do. You just come in. Debbie Moore is like, oh my God, that's too good. Yes, that is too good. Oh, okay. Okay. So why is that doing that? Oh, here we go. So just in case you guys aren't sure about how this works. Okay, this is gonna be bad. Oh, a fire at a lithium battery factory in South Korea kills 22 mostly Chinese migrant workers. Now, these probably are Chinese migrant workers that come in from China to work migratorily, and they leave at a certain period of time. They only have a certain amount of time that they can stay there. But in Seoul, South Korea, a fire likely sparked by exploding lithium batteries swept through a manufacturing plant near a manufacturing factory. No, that would be a plant near South Korea's capital on Monday, killing 22 mostly Chinese migrant workers and injuring 8. Were they Chinese migrant workers, or were they all Chinese workers? The fire began after batteries exploded while workers were examining and packaging them on the second floor of the factory. That's not always a good idea, keeping those things on the second floor. Just south of Seoul at around 10:30 a.m., fire officials said, citing a witness. They said they would investigate the cause of the blaze. It included 18 Chinese, 2 South Koreans, and 1 Laotian. Local fire official Kim Jong-young told a televised briefing, he said the nationality of one of the deceased could not immediately be verified. In the past few decades, many people from China, including Koreans, have migrated to South Korea to seek jobs. Like, now, see, this North Koreans, I would imagine, many people from China, including Koreans, have migrated to South Korea to seek jobs. Like other foreign migrants from Southeast Asian nations, they often end up in factories or in physically demanding and low paying jobs shunned by more affluent South Koreans. So these would be North Koreans. I don't know why they call them ethnic Koreans, but North Koreans. Kim also, one factory worker remained out of contact, and rescuers continued to search the site. He said 2 of the 8 injured were in serious condition. I imagine so. The fire started at one of the factory buildings owned by a company named Aerosol. Kim said the victims likely failed to escape via stairs to the ground. He said that authorities will investigate whether there were fire extinguishing systems at the site and if they worked. Do you not understand what it takes to put out a lithium fire? You can't just pour water on it, sweetheart. Kim said a total of 102 people were working at the factory, so they only lost 10% before the fire occurred. Well, 20%. Prime Minister Han Duck-soo, the country's number 2 official, and Interior and Safety Minister Lee Sang-min visited the site later Monday. Han asked officials to provide government assistance for funeral services and support programs for victims' relatives, according to Han's office. That's horrible. I hate hearing things like this happen. We don't glorify in this kind of thing. So what do we have here? Oh, okay. Very cool. Had no idea that this happened. So I had giving you guys false statements, according to the AP. It says, claim a video shows tall black fences put up on Monday to block access to the Supreme Court building in Washington, an indication of impending chaos. And of course, they say this is false. The video is from May 2022 and shows fencing erected following the leak of a draft opinion that overturned Roe v. Wade. Shorter barriers are present in the area. So I wasn't wrong. They don't have 8-foot fences, but they have barriers in the area. The building was open Monday and Tuesday during its usual visiting hours, aside from people attending public sessions. It is otherwise closed to the public on days when the court convenes, as well as weekends and federal holidays. The building will next be closed on Wednesday, Juneteenth, and then on Thursday when the court is in session. So this is an old story. The fact social media users are misrepresenting the 2-year-old video. Well, I did not. I didn't say anything about an old one. I just said that they were putting it in lockdown. When Taylor broke, it reminded me of the expert in Chizzy derailing MG law streams. That does happen. In approximately 20-second clip, long row of tall black fences, which I never saw those. Warning the incoming false flag statements. It's chaos at the Capitol. Reads 1X post fences and barricades now surround the U.S. Supreme Court building. Fences say checkmate. Well, no, I don't know about that because I never read any of that. A TikTok post shared, blah, blah, blah. Don't know, don't care because I don't watch TikTok. So I have no idea. Although I think I'm on TikTok. And if you're following me there, well, good luck. But the video does not reflect the current scene at the Supreme Court building. It was posted on May 22nd by a Capital City reporter for Washington W Top News. The 8-foot high, hard to climb fence was installed that month after protests erupt outside the court in the homes of Supreme Court justices, which every single person that showed up there should have been arrested. Talking to you, libtards. Following the unprecedented leak of a draft opinion that signaled the justices were planning to overturn Roe v. Wade. Courthouse had already been closed to the public since March 22. We already know all this. So an AP reporter who went to the area around noon on Tuesday verified that there was no tall fencing outside the Supreme Court building. Well, let's see. That was on Tuesday. And this, according to them, these are the pictures according to AP right here. That's what the Supreme Court looked like on Tuesday. Thank you, AP, for correcting my mistake. So they do have barricades up, but they haven't erected any tall fencing or anything like that. So that was my bad, my falsities, and I do apologize. AP has every right to call me out just as much as I call their bull squeeze out. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see, and we will click that. Oh, okay. So what's the other one that we have here? We have, what does it say? Oh, and see, here's another thing I never heard of. Fact Focus Associated Press video manipulated to make it appear Slovak bans at soccer match. I don't know because I never paid any attention. I don't pay attention to the sports balls very much. The only time that I pay any attention to any sports ball would be whenever the Bulldogs are playing. And then I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to that. I mean, I support the Bulldogs, but that's about it. You know, I don't tell anybody else that they have to, and I don't go after other people that support the opposing team. I don't attack anybody because it's all supposed to be fun. And you have to remember that sports balls, you know, especially whenever you're talking college, a lot of the college guys don't even hate each other's teams or each other. And the reason they don't is because they'll probably be playing possibly on the same team in the future. So why would you create an enemy by attacking people just because they're on an opposite team? I mean, it's fun in games, but It's not. It's all fun until you find a Cowboys fan. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, it's UGA, UGA. UGA. Yes. Yeah. My wife is a double dog, so it was Russia teams banned from UEFA from international competition with days of this full military invasion of Ukraine started in February 22nd. German authorities previously said they wanted to allow flags of the participating teams to be brought to stadiums and official fan zones, broadcasting games on big screens in the 10 host cities. So after Russian flags were displayed in other matches, the UEF, I don't know. See, it matters not to me. Okay. What? What is it? How does heat kill? Confuses your brain, it shuts down your organs, and overworks your heart. Well, okay. Yeah. But you shouldn't be drinking from that dude's hairy. That is like a man pours cold water on his head. That is not a man. That is a damn Bigfoot. That dude has hair growing from every part of his body. That's creepy. So as temperatures and humidity soar outside, what's happening inside the human body can become life or death battle decided by just a few degrees. The critical danger point outdoors for illness and death from relentless heat is several degrees lower than one expects. One experts once thought, say researchers who put people in hot boxes to see what happened to them. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? No, you don't do that kind of thing to people because heat stroke is not good. I've had heat stroke, heat exhaustion. I've had I don't like that extreme heat, and I like to keep water flowing through my body and keep them cool down. And it's more than just water. You also have to stay cool down. That's why whenever you see these people trudging through the desert and they're just like, hey. Yeah. It's good for TV, but it's much worse. It's much worse than that. Whenever I was on maneuvers, we had a guy get lost in the desert. Luckily, it was late at night whenever we found him. He had all he had done is wandered away to take a leak. Just stepped over a couple of mounds to take a leak, and within minutes, the heat had overtaken him. And whenever he went to come back to the trucks, he continued to wander in the opposite direction for another 4 hours before he was found at night underneath the little shrub. I think we found him about an hour after he stopped moving. They luckily were able to get because they knew we were in the area. So what they did is they brought out a plane that was flying over and actually was able to spot him because he started waving his hand as the airplane would go by. Yeah, so they were able to locate him, and once they located him, they were able to point us in the right direction and get us to find him. But it took a while before they could get anybody up and in the area, and that had to do with I think they were firing off some rockets that day, so they basically shut down all air traffic around White Sands Missile Range, and nobody could. Yeah, it was a weird day. It was a very weird day. Same day I got heat exhaustion. That was really fun. I think there were 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there were around 10 people that got heat exhaustion that day. We took a thermometer at one point in time. We had thermometers for the generators and stuck it in the sand. It was reading 135 degrees, 135, 145, something like that. Yeah, it was in the triple digits just in the sand itself. And yeah, that was pretty hot. The only reason I got heat exhaustion, the worst part was from lack of sleep. I think at that point I had gone somewhere around 36 hours and had only slept, I think, 2 hours the night before. So yeah, I was not in great shape, but who would have known? Who would have known? I also got my nose broken that night. Uh, see, I got sent into home base, got got a shower, had just getting ready to crawl into a into my rack, and next thing I know, I'm being told to get dressed, that we're moving out. And so stupid me not realizing that I had a medical waiver, because while I was suffering from heat exhaustion, they they packed me up in a truck. And as we got out to the place, I think the rain started on our way out there. And I walked up to the tanker that I was working off of, and the sergeant that was in charge of it opened up the door and caught me right between the eyes. My head was sort of turned a little bit sideways, but he caught me right between the eyes and broke my nose and broke my glasses. And yeah, that was. Then I got sent back to base again. I got a good night's sleep, but with a broken nose, which wasn't a great night's sleep, but it hurt. Yeah, heat stroke is deadly. Once you've had it, you don't want it again. Yep. Got it after spending a day in an amusement park, was sick and just wanted to sleep. Yeah. And that's the last thing you can be doing. Yeah. Yeah. They did have someone coming by and checking on us on a regular basis, and I was fine until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whenever I started talking incoherently. That was always fun. You imagine you're talking to someone, and then all of a sudden none of the words they say make any sense whatsoever. Yeah, that was the first sign. Also, I wasn't sweating. Yeah. My body didn't know the difference. No, you always have water with you and wear hats in the summer. Absolutely. Well, and of course, the critical danger point for illness and death, relentless heat, has several degrees lower than much of the United States, Mexico, India, and Middle East suffering through blistering heat waves. Of course, this right here is where I laugh at them. It's worsened. No, it doesn't get any worse. It does this every year. It gets hot, it gets cold, and it's called weather. Several doctors, physiologists, and others experts explain to the Associated Press what happens to the human body in such heat. Oh, the key body temperature of the body's resting core temperature is about 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit or 37 degrees Celsius. That's only 7 degrees 4 Celsius away from catastrophe in the form of heat stroke, said Ali J, a professor of heat and health at the University of Sydney in Australia, where he runs the genomics laboratory. Dr. Neil Gandhi, an emergency medicine director at Houston Methodist Hospital, said during heat waves, anyone who comes in with a fever of 102 or higher and no clear source of infection will be looked at for heat exhaustion or more severe heat stroke. We routinely see core temperatures greater than 104, 105 degrees during some sort of heat episodes. Another degree or three, and such a patient is at high risk of death. How heat kills. Heat kills in many ways, Jay says. The usual first suspect is heat stroke. Critical increases in the body temperature that cause the organs to fail. When the inner body temperature gets too hot, the body redirects blood flow towards the skin to cool down. But that diverts blood and oxygen away from the stomach and intestines, and this can allow toxins normally confined to the gut area to leak into circulation. This sets off a cascade of effects, clotting around the body and multiple organ failure, and ultimately you will decease. The bigger killer in the heat is the strain on the heart, especially for people who have cardiovascular disease or may end up having a heart attack. It starts with the blood rushing to the skin to help shed the core heat. That causes blood pressure to drop. The heat responds by trying to pump more blood to keep you from passing out. Yeah, it's the heart to do a lot more work than it usually has to do. And for someone with a heart condition, it's like running for a bus with a bad hamstring. Something's going to give. The third main way is dangerous dehydration. As people sweat, they lose liquids to a point where it can severely stress the kidneys. Many people may not realize they're in danger. Dehydration can progress into shock, causing organs to shut down from lack of blood, oxygen, nutrients, leading to seizures and not breathing anymore, says Dr. Renee Salas, a Harvard University professor, public health emergency room physician at Massachusetts General Hospital. Dehydration can be very dangerous and deadly for everyone if it gets bad enough, but it's especially dangerous for those with medical conditions and on certain medications. Dehydration also reduces blood flow and magnifies cardiac problems. Well, it attacks the brain. Does humidity matter? Some scientists use complicated outside the temperature measurement called the wet bulb globe temperature, which takes into account humidity, solar radiation, and wind. In the past, it was thought that a wet bulb reading of 95 Fahrenheit was the point when the body started having trouble, said Kennedy, who also runs a hot box lab and has done nearly 600 tests with volunteers. Man, they just stop doing this. Okay, if you idiots are jumping into hot boxes to sweat like crazy, stop. Stop. Word salad is what happened to your mom. She ended up having a stroke. Fortunately, she survived and is currently 98. That is fortunate. That is very fortunate. My grandmother-in-law, yes, my grandmother-in-law, she had a stroke while she was in the car with my aunt. They were on their way back from a dog show, and she had a stroke on the way. Luckily, my aunt spotted an emergency, like a hospital, and exited almost immediately, and got her to the hospital. Just because her mom looked at her and said something's not right, and then just proceeded to like face went all bonkers and everything, which ended up, basically saving her life. So yeah, she did have a mini stroke, and whenever they went and they found that she had another clot, they relieved that and stopped her from having an aneurysm that would have basically bye-bye, no more. Like they did that. She survived another, what, 7 or 8 years after that. She didn't do any more dog shows. Didn't really do a lot of traveling, but she's pretty sweet lady. Humidity, heat waves kill a lot more people than dry heat waves. I don't know about that. Wait, wait until you hit 110 degrees outside, then tell me how fast it does. When Kennedy tested young and old people in dry heat, they could function until 125 degrees, while the elderly had to stop at 109. With higher or moderate humidity, people could not function as nearly as high temperature. Well, it just depends on what their humidity also works to cool you. Okay. Humidity will also work to cool you. Like in New Mexico, they use swamp coolers. Now, if you don't know what a swamp cooler is, then you've never lived in a dry climate. Trust me. You're in a dry climate like that. Get yourself some blankets, towels, whatever. Get them soaking wet and hang them throughout your house and get air blowing across them. It turns your house into an air conditioner, because you have to remember that AC does not cool. This is the big misconception that AC cools. AC doesn't cool. What AC does is it removes the heat from the air. That's why you get a cooling function. It's like swamp butt. It's almost like swamp butt. You want to have that moisture. You want to have that moisture. Same way whenever you're having sex, you want to have that moisture. Rushing to make patients cool. Heat stroke is an emergency, and medical workers try to cool a victim down within 30 minutes. The best way, cold water immersion. Basically, you drop them in a water bucket. but those aren't always around. So emergency rooms pump patients with cool fluids intravenously, spray them with misters, put ice packs in armpits and groins. Talk about swamp butt. And place them on a chilly mat with cold water running inside it. But sometimes it doesn't work. We call it the silent killer because it's not the kind of visually dramatic event. It's insidious, it's hidden. Well, and you also have to remember this is one thing they taught you, in the military, running into if you're running into a situation where you might get hypothermia, um, and if there's a lot of trust involved in this, and it's about your buddy because you want to get your extremities nice and warm. If you can't get your arms here under you because you've lost too much temperature, then what you want to do is get your buddy, put your hands under their armpits, your feet under their armpits, have them hold you and warm up those parts of your body because your extremities is what's going to get it shuts off the blood quicker there. So it'll shut off the blood to those and you'll lose those extremities much faster. And it is always a good way to if you've got someone that is under extreme hypothermia, get both your asses naked and get all snuggled up and use your body warmth to warm them up. That is going to be one of your quicker ways to do it. And protecting, like I said, the extremities. And yeah, it's not gay. I'm just saying you need to get the body warmed up. That's one of the quickest ways is somebody else's body heat. And also your groin works really well. So yeah, you don't have to get it right on the junk, but I will tell you if you're about to lose your fingers, the last thing in your mind is going to be what someone's junk feels like. It might be embarrassing, but I will tell you what, I would rather lose my fingers and grab a hold of someone's junk than not. So it was hypothermia training my sergeant made me do. Yes, that's exactly what it was, Broken Baker. Although it was 90 degrees outside, it was exactly that. It was hypothermia training. The story has been corrected to humidity rather than temperature in a mention of how people's function is affected by humidity. Uh-huh. See, notice they had to correct that right there. The Associated Press climate environmental coverage receives financial support from private foundations. See, just keep in mind this right here, private foundation, and they won't name those private foundations, but that right there is what they are being paid for. But you know what's really cool is a shiny monolith removed from mountains outside of Las Vegas. How it got there is still a mystery. Yeah. So, a strange monolith found jutting out of the rocks at a remote mountain range near Las Vegas has been taken down by authorities, and how it got there is unsolved. Well, they do this on a regular basis. It remains unknown how it got to its location or who might be responsible, but they announced the removal of the glimmering 6'4" prism. Its discovery over the weekend, a quick removal because of public safety and environmental concerns, revived pandemic era mystery that captured the public's imagination when shiny monoliths evoked the object that appeared in Stanley Kubrick's movie 2001 Space Odyssey began to appear around the globe. Members of the Las Vegas Police search the rescue team found the object near Gas Peak, part of the vast desert of the National Wildlife Refuge where bighorn sheep and desert tortoises can be found. I thought it said roaming, but it may be moaning. I would be moaning there too. It was the latest discovery in a series of mysterious columns that have popped up since at least 2020. In November of that year, a similar metal monolith was found deep in the Mars-like landscape of Utah's Red Rock Desert. Then came sightings from Romania, Central California, New Mexico, and the famed Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas. All of them disappeared as quickly as they popped up, adding to the lore. This thing is not from another world, said Lieutenant Nick Street of Utah's Department of Public Safety, said at the time. The Utah monolith, believed to be the first in a series, had been embedded in the rock in the area so remote that officials didn't immediately reveal its location for fear of people getting lost or stranded while trying to find it. But internet sleuths quickly found the coordinates, and hordes of curious tourists eager to see and touch the otherworldly object arrived, flattening plants with their cars and leaving behind human waste in the bathroom-free backcountry. Well, all you had to do is take out some porta potties. That's all you got to do. Authorities said the same concerns led them to tear down the last monolith on Thursday. It was illegally installed on federal land established to protect bighorn sheep as home to rare plants and tortoises. The National Wildlife Refuge, which is managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, is the largest wildlife refuge outside of Alaska and can cover the state of Rhode Island twice. Christina Wise, acting manager of the Wildlife Refuge, confirmed Friday that the monolith had been removed, but said she couldn't comment on whether federal authorities have opened a criminal investigation. Well, the department said it discourages anyone from venturing off marked trails or leaving objects and items behind. This poses a danger to you and the environment in Utah. The removal of the monolith there also left a hole in the red rock. The Bureau of Land Management said Friday that it is still actively investigating the Utah case. Crazy. You're having cool down for a couple of days. Temperatures around 80, and then it's back up again. Yeah, we got a little bit of rain this morning, which helped cool things down quite a bit. That was a very nice surprise to have. Oh my gosh. It is going to be one of those kind of days. There was wow. Well, and I can't even show this because that's going to get me in trouble. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Certain things I just can't show. Well, let's see. This is a parody. This is a parody. Just giving you a heads up, which will probably end up getting me, in trouble. But it happens.
What is your partner's least attractive feature?
Probably your lower back hair.
I knew you were going to say
I'm
that.
sorry. You're like a monkey, dude.
All right, well, she snores. What is your partner's least attractive feature?
Probably that he's a man. I'm not gay.
Right. Yeah, I'm not gay either. So us being together.
What is your partner's least attractive feature?
Probably her vagina. I'm gay, so I prefer penis.
And I don't like his penis because I'm a lesbian.
I hate your penis.
I don't like your penis. It's not the way I want to have sex.
What is your partner? Sorry, you guys aren't gay, are you?
What? No.
No.
Okay, what's your partner's least attractive feature?
Well, I don't like anything about her because she's not an animal. I'm into animals.
And I am gay. I'm also a liar. I lied to you. I don't like penis. I don't like his
Who's
balls.
done? Are you a heterosexual couple?
Yes.
Are you into animals?
No.
Great. What is your partner's least attractive feature?
Nothing. My sister's perfect.
I love everything about my brother.
Come on.
Tigers, snakes, wombats, tigers, fish, different kinds of fish.
Oh God. Oh, sorry. I knew you guys would like that one. Here we go. How's this one?
Piece of shit! Piece of shit! Are you proud of yourself? Where is your gun now?
You need a gun because you're weak. You need a bullet because your voice is small.
Enough is enough! Let it on your hands! How do you fucking feel? Send your hands! Thumbs up! Thumbs up! Can't stop! I'm gonna go fucking celebrate! My choice! My choice! That's not fucking talking, bro! That's not fucking talking!
Oh God. Oh yeah. Oh, I've got to go get some coffee. I will be right back. We're going to give you a little bit of the coffee music. Let me go get nice swallow of coffee. I've also been working on a new one. Do I still have it up here? No, I don't have it up here yet, but I am working on a new one. So you guys just relax for a little bit. Grab yourself some coffee, and I will be right back.
Morning sun, it's a brand new day. Gotta shake the sleep, gotta find my way to the kitchen where the coffee's hot. Take a little break, give it all I got. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break is what I gotta do. Stepping out of bed, feel the reggae beat. Shuffle to the kitchen, moving my feet. Coffee's calling, got that morning vibe. Wake up the soul, feeling so alive. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break, it's what I gotta do. On the way to the brew, take a bio break. Freshen up my mind, for goodness sake. Wash away the dreams, face the brand new light. With the coffee in hand, everything's alright. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break is what I gotta do. Gotta get the coffee, start a brand new day. Whiz, get up, it's time to ride. Whiz and Coffee, sweet harmony. Down in the kitchen, the beans are on the line. Whiz is humming to the streaming time. The aromas rising, filling up the air. Cup of Java magic takes away the care. Wears away the care. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break is what I gotta do. The sun is shining, so Whiz is dancing with his coffee cup. In the morning sunlight, he's lifting up with every sip and every funky beat. Whiz is ready to take on any feat. Whiz, get ready to take on any feat. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Gonna get my cup and start anew. Rise and brew, yeah, rise and brew. Take a little break is what I gotta do. Whiz and Coffee, sweet harmony.
My balls are tingling. Yeah, my balls are tingling. Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Yes. And we have our next one. Sweltering temperatures. They persist across the U.S. while flood waters inundate the Midwest. What is going on? Wow, these are big fields guess what? This happens all the time. Floodwaters inundate parts of the Midwest, U.S. Midwest on Saturday in South Dakota. Christie Nome declared emergency after the southeastern part of the state bordering Nebraska received heavy rainfall. Millions of Americans sweated through scorched weekend as temperatures soared across the U.S. while residents were rescued from floodwaters that forced evacuations across the Midwest. One person died during flooding in South Dakota, the governor said. From mid-Atlantic to Maine across the Great Lakes region and throughout the west of California, public officials cautioned residents about the dangers of rain and heat and humidity. Oh my gosh, it is a climate disaster. Things are actually happening. There's rain, there's humidity, there are heat. Oh my, every summer this happens. But at the borders of South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota, floodwaters rose over several days. In the northwest Iowa, 13 rivers flooded the area, said Eric Tiggs of Clay County Emergency Management. Entire neighborhoods, at least one entire town, were evacuated, and the Iowa town of Spencer imposed a curfew Sunday for the second night in a row after flooding that surpassed the records set long time ago before any of us were even alive and breathing in 1953. Sorry, I couldn't help it. When the flood gauge is underwater, that's really high. No shit, Sherlock, Tiggs said at the news conference organized by Spencer officials. Governor Kim Reynolds declared a disaster for 21 counties in northern Iowa, including Sioux County. In drone video posted by the local sheriff, there were no streets visible, just roofs and treetops poking from the water. That's not all that was poking that day. You just weren't looking close enough. National Guard troops were helping with the water rescues and transporting needed medications lost in flooding. Businesses are shuttered. Well, if they open their shutters and let the water out, you might not have your main streets be impacted. Reynolds said hospitals, nursing homes, and other care facilities were thankfully evacuated because we didn't have enough goggles and we couldn't really do underwater rescue. They did have their oxygen tanks, so they might have lasted just a little bit longer than your normal person. But they, of course, were evacuated because cities are without power and some are without drinkable water. And that really ties into just having a little too much heat because the National Weather Service meteorologist Donna Debunking said parts of northern Nebraska, southeastern South Dakota, southern Minnesota, and northwest Iowa received 8 times the typical average rainfall, which wouldn't be typical except for, well, most of the time. This is the kind of rain that we have, and more heavy rain was expected this week. In South Dakota, Governor Christie Nome declared an emergency after severe flooding in her bands. In the southeastern part, several highways were closed. And as people watched the water flow down a hill, oh my God, look, it is water. Many families embark on Falls Park, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, as water rose quickly Saturday, June 22nd, 2024, after days of heavy rain led to flooding in the area. Areas of the Sioux Falls, the state largest city, had estimated 10 to 15 inches. Oh, that's not all they were getting. You just didn't look close enough. It was coming up out of the water. And that was just the rain. Several service hydrologist Kevin Lowe said, at least one person has died in the floods, which is very unfortunate because Nome said Sunday she couldn't provide any damn details about that. Several rivers, including Big Sioux, James, and Vermilion, were expected to peak sometimes Monday through Wednesday night, the governor said in a news conference. Let's see if we can do it right. And I want to remind everybody to remember the power and the water and the flow of the water and stay away from flooded areas, Nome said. We've got a few days in front of us, and it's going to be a little bit rough, but we're going to get through it. Emergency management officials in the South Dakota community of Dakota Dunes on Sunday issued a voluntary evacuation order for their area's roughly 4,000 residents. Dakota Dunes is near the Nebraska and Iowa borders and is sandwiched between the Missouri and Big Sioux rivers, both of which are expected to crest in the coming days. Emergency management in Dakota Dunes warned residents that a mandatory evacuation could come quickly if flood barriers are breached. Yes, we like to breach those flood barriers. because we like getting in there as we possibly can, especially with Christy Nome. Minor to moderate flooding was expected along the Missouri River, according to officials in the U.S. Corps of Army Engineers. And as long as the levees hold, we're not expected any major impacts. It just brings me back to a song by Led Zeppelin, When the Levee Breaks. We're not expecting any major impacts, said John Remus. Well, your name is John Remus. You're not expecting any impacts with a name like John Remus? Well, Water Management Division Chief for the Corps in the Missouri River Basin, but elsewhere, the heat was the biggest worry. Maybe if we could just send some of that water their way. It's more important for people who are going to be outside to stay hydrated. Well, or you could just take your ass to South Dakota and drink from the well. Because heat, humidity, and low winds, even if you're in good shape and not really acclimated to it, it could be a danger, said Bruce Thorne, a Weather Service meteorologist in Oklahoma. It happens quickly. So do those floodwaters. The cities of Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia also record heat on over the weekend. Well, that is because there's so much hot air coming out of that part of the woods that it is not surprising that you are just inundated with hot air. Last year, the U.S. experienced the most heat waves since 1936, experts say. Well, that is amazing because we have had a lot of heat since then. But this is a record for heat waves since 1936 because anything prior to that we really didn't pay too much attention to. Found that excessive heat contributed to more than 2,300 deaths. Is this sort of like the coof? Because if I remember, there was at least millions of people that died because of the coof or related to the coof or something like that because they could never really determine they died with it or died because of it. Or was it a contributing factor? We don't know because I would say that this right here, the excessive heat contributed only to that many. Wow. So did they have the coof? Were they wearing their mask? Did that help them out? Did that protect them? I don't know. I'm an idiot. And I speak like an idiot. The Weather Service has warned of the potential for rare tornadoes in the Northeast later Sunday. Well, because tornadoes struck Saturday in Wisconsin, leaving the historic Apple Grove Lutheran Church, founded in 1893 in the town of Argyle. The good news is we're all safe, said Dan Bowman, the pastor of that particular church. Marvin Boyd, meteorologist in the Weather Service of Burlington, Vermont, said a severe thunderstorm warning was issued for parts of New York as a storm with wind gusts exceeding 60 miles per hour and the threat of tornadoes head towards Vermont near Lake Champlain. It was one of the several expected to pass through the region Sunday afternoon. It's unusual alignment of ingredients for Vermont and northern New York to produce threat tornadoes. Does anyone realize that if you quit building and try to redirect water from rivers and or lakes, flooding would not happen as often? It's amazing, isn't it? The problem is they've used it to dam up particular areas so they could use hydroponics or hydroelectricity. Yes, that is what they did. It's funny to me because my grandparents lived on the Ohio River. And it's not really on the Ohio River, but it's close enough that the area floods. Where their location was, they never had to worry about any of the flooding from the river. It was further on down, and they told them, I think it was in the 20s, or I think it was the 30s, somewhere in the 30s. Yeah, we're gonna be building this dam. So they built dams and they put in locks, and it was all, to help everything. And that particular area floods every single year, and it's only gotten worse. Part of where he lived and the route that they would have to take, they had a road that was aptly named for getting around high waters. And it was just known whenever you had any sort of storms or in the spring that you would get extra amounts of water flowing from the places that might have melting snow and ice and things like that. Plus, then you couple that with some rain, and well, this one particular area would flood out. But also in doing so, it was taking away parts of the soil, like major soil erosion along the Ohio River and widening the Ohio River. And if you've never seen the Ohio River, it is a pretty wide damn river. It's small. Does anyone else realize if you quit building and trying to redirect? Absolutely. This is the kind of things that you're going to run into all of the damn time. Water comes, water goes, water is a mess. It will push things out of the way. It will push things out of the way. So what do we have going on this week as far as anything else? Oh my gosh. Nothing that I can really think of that leads me to any important things. There more than likely will be a stream tonight. That's sort of the hope. It is my plan to do a it's going to be an interesting week. I'm going to reach out to Mo and hopefully we'll be able to do a stream tonight. It should be fun. If everything goes through like I want it to, I'm going to redirect everybody over to go see Mo and show her a little bit of love this morning. And hopefully she's going to be on with Baker a little bit later, which, he's going to be covering more of the Karen Reed trial, which if you haven't watched, it is a mess, just an absolute mess. I need to get with Baker or Mo and get caught up on it because I haven't been able to pay a whole lot of attention during the week, but I do have something that I'm going to be covering later this month, next month, most definitely next month, as time allows. So it is going to get crazy this week. I have no guarantees on how much, where, when, how, what, why I'm going to be streaming. But do not be disheartened. It's not because I have forgotten about you or anything like that. I just do not have the time in between family, whatnot, that kind of stuff to be able to stream every single day. I've got family in town and I want to be able to pay attention to them. And we're just here to have some fun. We're not stressing the idiocy, and I'm hoping for a very good debate, which I know it's going to be cut, cropped, and edited like crazy. You'll probably have all the news and the information before me, but if you want to come back whenever I've had it, because whatever happens, I will be recording the debates, but I'm probably going to edit out like commercials and crap like that, just because I want to poke absolute fun. And if I need to, because of time and whatnot, I just may cover the debate on Saturday. It just depends. Shizzy, pay attention to family. Are you sick? Ain't nobody got time or sanity for that. Listen, there are little kids that you only get one opportunity to see them in their most raw form. And if you want to find out how raw that gets, just all you have to do is find all the wife's old Mardi Gras beads that she saved from like 10 years ago. About 10 years ago. And if you ask how she got the beads, most of the beads were not, they're crap. Some of them are absolute crap. And then there's some that have like really cool stuff like lights and crap like that. Put new batteries in them. And you show those to kids and they go absolutely bonkers. The littlest little girl, she was like, oh, I like the pink, I like the red, I like the blue. She was just like, and she had so many of these beads around her. I thought she was going to topple over. It was hilarious. You're going to go watch beaver dam removal videos now? Oh, that sounds like fun. The other day, what was I watching? It was really interesting. Oh, I remember what I was watching. I got to where I was watching the scammers. I don't know why. I just was in that kind of mood watching the scammers where they were busting the people that were trying to pull like those Amazon and Microsoft scams. That's what I was watching. I thought it was damn hilarious. watching these scammers get like totally just busted. It's like, gotcha, suckers. Yes, I will have fun with my family, listen for notification, check in. I did release a new video today. I think it was today or last night, something like that. That one should be up and running. And it was my new intro that I put together, not the one that you're seeing. I've got another one that is monetized. So the more views that one gets, that'll be pretty awesome. But like the morning Whiz and Coffee that came out, that one took me a little bit of time to get it all put together. And that was what I sort of was working on last. Yeah, the morning song, the morning Whiz and Coffee song. Hey Zach, good to see you. Glad you could make it. Good to see you, Betsy. Good to see all of you guys. But that was one that I put together, and I'll post that link up there so you can go check that out. Boom. There we go. That right there is where the newest one is. Then I've also got the other one, which is Sweat. That one I've gotten also. That one is now public. So both of those should have come out yesterday. And then of course I've got the other stuff. I'm also working on getting some new material out there for you guys. And if you remember, the way that I've got this set up is if you guys do a donation, tell me what you want to have, I will throw up a song for you guys. It's a little too late to do that today, but remember that in the morning, whenever I'm streaming, if you throw something up there in super chat, I will create a song about it, and we will have some fun with it. We can put it in style and make sure that it's fun. You like the manual slow removal ones? Yeah, those are pretty cool. Those are pretty cool. Everybody have a wonderful day. Say hi to Mo. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe over there on Mo. And more than likely, she'll be going and joining the baker. They also make sure that you've done the same over there. More than likely, Valhalla will be in there. So give him a little bit of love also. And I will see you guys most likely tonight. No guarantees, but I shall have a good week, as should the rest of you. And with that, I will see you very soon. Peace, y'all.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.